Week 7 in the books, week 8 almost underway. So let me get through this shit quickly. I tried to do this shit last night, but I just couldn't get the words out. But in any event, let's get to it. Yeah, not as sloppy as the past couple of weeks. Still pretty sloppy, but this past week got a little better. And I'm going to start off. I normally don't go out of order, but I'm going to in this case. I'm going to talk about the Sunday night game first between the Broncos and the 49ers. So yeah, Broncos beating the 49ers 42-17. Denver just kicked the Niners' ass. Of course, to be fair though, the Niners did lose like 3 linebackers. But it is what it is. You know, the Niners still got their asses kicked. One-sided affair. And of course, the story is about Peyton Manning's 510 touchdown passes. Congrats to him for breaking Brett Favre's career record. And the question is, can Peyton Manning throw for 600 touchdowns? I doubt it. I think the wheels will come off at some point, but we'll wait and see. You know, nope, it is what it is there. As far as the Niners go, can't really blame Colin Kaepernick this time. I mean, for the loss. I mean, he threw some passes right on the money, and receivers just kept dropping them. Like, really? And yeah, I took the Broncos to lose. I initially had them winning, but then I changed it to the Niners, only because I thought the Niners. Only because I figured it was because I figured, you know, coaching would make a big difference because, you know, Jim Harbaugh's a better coach than John Fox, but that was clearly not the case tonight. This past Sunday. So my apologies. One of my dumb picks, not my dumbest pick, but one of my dumbest picks of the week. Moving on. I could have went 12-3. That's why I'm pissed, but whatever. Moving on. Thursday night, the Patriots beating the Jets 27-25. Brady didn't play all that great, and yet the Patriots have not been playing all that great, and yet they're still 5-2. You know, the Jets, they haven't been doing that badly, and yet they're 1-6. I mean, you know, yeah, those 6 games against Pro Bowl quarterbacks during those 6 games, and two of which are future Hall of Famers. Not necessarily a good thing for the Jets. But that being said, 1-6 is still horrible, regardless of who you're facing. It is what it is. Jets have lost their last 6 games, and like I said, Patriots are 5-2, but still only a 1-game lead in first place. Colts blanking the Bengals, 27-0. Let me see here. Andrew Luck, another good performance by him. Not his best performance, but you know the Colts have just been playing high in general. The Colts defense has been playing a lot better the last 3 weeks, so I gotta give the Colts defense props there. The Bengals though, what the fuck was up with them? Not even a field goal. I mean, shit. I thought this Bengals team was talented. I thought Andy Dalton was a good quarterback. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's not consistently good, though. That's the problem. Moving on. Colts are 5-2. Bengals fall to 3-2-1. Rams beating the Seahawks 28-26. And there were a couple bullshit calls. Well, not really bullshit calls, but a couple of questionable calls at the end of the game. But you know what, though? At the same time, maybe the Seahawks shouldn't be going down 21-3 to a team that is playing their third-string quarterback. Get the fuck out of here. Though, to be fair, though, it wasn't like the Rams outplayed the Seahawks throughout the entire game. I mean, especially the second half. And they damn sure didn't contain Russell Wilson. He only threw. I mean, he still threw for 300 yards and ran for 100, and another touchdown. I believe it's his third straight game with at least one rushing touchdown. But it is what it is. The reason why the Rams won is because of trickery, especially on that one punt return where Tavon Austin was faking out the Seahawks, and it worked because the other guy got the ball. And of course, and that's how the Rams ended up going up 21-3. Austin Davis, not his best day, not his worst day. I mean, high completion percentage, but only 150 plus yards. I mean, that's not good. 200 is good, but yeah. And the Rams are not really and the Rams, we don't know what the Rams are. I mean, we really don't. We don't know. But then again, the Seahawks, they're not going back to the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry. They'll be lucky if they make the playoffs. I still have them making the playoffs, but Super Bowl, I'm gonna have to stop saying that talk because it ain't happening. I hope I'm wrong because I really. Well, let me explain it again. I don't hate the Seahawks. I don't give a fuck one way or another. I actually support the Hawks more than people think, believe it or not. But in any event, moving on, as the Seahawks fall to 3-3 and the Rams improve to 2-4. Redskins defeating the Titans 19-17. The problem with this matchup is that nobody fucking cares, But Kirk Cousins finally got benched because the Redskins have had enough of his turnovers, and they weren't interested in more of that bullshit in the second half. So they brought in Colt McCoy, and right off the bat threw a touchdown to Pierre Garçon. But even then, Charlie Bratwurst threw a nice touchdown pass. I believe to put the Titans up. I forget the score. I believe it was 16-17. Yeah, 17-16 or somewhere around there. And then the last drive of the Redskins game, they ran it all the way down the field. Deshaun Jackson could have had a touchdown catch, but of course, Titans defender grabbed onto Deshaun, and he didn't like that too much. But regardless, it was a dumb penalty. Regardless, it just means the Titans are not disciplined. It's just simple as that. Either way, the Titans, right was on the wall. It was another Titans loss. End of story. Both teams now are 2-5. Moving on. And I believe last place in their respective divisions. No. My bad. The Jaguars are still in last place, even though they won last week. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. Jaguars defeating the Browns 24-6. Hoyer playing his worst game of the season so far. I hope to God that is not who he really is. Because I was praising this guy 2 weeks ago, and now he's going to make me look bad like that. Oh, don't make me fucking look bad. I will turn on him like that, especially if they lose to Oakland this coming week. Yeah, but hey, Blake Bortles, congratulations. Are in order because this is his first career win. The first of hopefully many in his career. Just simple as that. But the Jaguars finally get on the board, as they are 1-6, and the Browns fall to 3-3. The Browns are still overrated as fuck. Moving on, Ravens defeating the Falcons 29-7. Yeah, it is what it is. The Falcons, I've said enough about the Falcons. Simple as that. Joe Flacco, though, a little bit inconsistent. The Ravens played well, but they could have played better. Especially Flacco, throwing 2 interceptions. He did throw 2 touchdowns, though. But it is what it is there. Ravens improved to 5-2. Falcons fall to 2-5. They've lost their last 4 games now. Buffalo defeating the Minnesota Vikings 17-16. Sammy Watkins had a pretty big day, catching both of the Buffalo Bills touchdowns, including the game winner with 1 second left. And Buffalo improves to 4-3. Congrats to them. And the Vikings fall to 2-5. Oh yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, another bad day for him. He's gonna have many more bad days if he doesn't figure out NFL defenses yet. But the season is still young. Vikings, they're not making the playoffs, but that doesn't mean that Bridgewater cannot improve. Same thing with Bortles. Simple as that. Dolphins beating the Bears 27-14. And another sloppy home performance by Chicago, and on the flip side, a very good day for Ryan Tannehill. I mean, he outdueled Jay Cutler, for God's sakes. Of course, that's really not saying much because Jay Cutler is not that good of a quarterback. I am this close to putting him on the Romo list. And heck, I don't know if Tony Romo's an average quarterback anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. But it is what it is there. Tannehill, again, shredded that defense. Obviously his best game. Yeah, I'm liking what the Dolphins are doing right now, to be perfectly honest with you. So there you go there. Dolphins improved to 3-3, Bears fall to 3-4, and they are 0-3 at home. Moving on, Lions beating the Saints 24-23 in the annual Matthew Stafford thrilling come from behind victory at Ford Field. Remember the game last year against the Cowboys? And this finish was just as exciting. Because the Lions were down 23-10 with like 3 minutes left to go or something like that. And then Golden Tate scored a huge touchdown on basically one play. I mean, leaving the Lions with more time on the clock, with some time on the clock. And then the Lions, then Drew Brees throws a costly interception, which led to the Lions scoring the go-ahead touchdown. I believe Fuller caught the touchdown pass from Stafford. And congratulations to the Lions. They're 5-2. Saints fall to 2-4 and are in. But luckily for them, they play in the NFC South, which is fucking garbage. Moving on quickly. All right, Chiefs defeating the Chargers 23-20. The Chiefs receivers still don't have a touchdown yet this year, and yet the Chiefs are able to go 3-3. Yeah, the touchdowns have been scored by running backs, tight ends, and defensive players. That's it. AJ Green tried to score a touchdown, but he forgot to stay in bounds like a dumbass. No, not AJ Green, AJ Jenkins. My mistake. That's how great AJ Jenkins is, by the way. What? Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to say AJ Green. Fuck. Idiot. Anyway. And meanwhile, the Chargers, it's not like the Chargers played a shit game. It's just that the division rival, the Chiefs, getting their first win at Qualcomm in quite a while. Congrats to them. Chargers 5-game win streak over. And the Chiefs improved to 3-3. Like I mentioned. Alright, this was probably my stupidest pick of the week. No business taking the Giants. My mistake. Cowboys beating the Giants 31-21. And of course, like I said last week, the Cowboys are for real. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not going to change my mind on this shit. I mean, just because you don't like the NFC East doesn't make you right. Okay? And it doesn't make me wrong. So shut the fuck up. So let's get out of here with that shit. So yeah, DeMarco Murray, his 7th consecutive 100-yard game, which he becomes the first player in NFL history to have to rush for 100 yards in each of the first 7 games of the season, breaking Jim Brown's record. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And the Giants, well, they did their best, and then they tried to tie the game at 20. In fact, tried to tie the game, and then Larry Donnell fumbled, which led to the Cowboys. I forget the score at that point because I'm trying to just move on from this shit, but it is what it is. Cowboys 6-1, Giants 3-4. Moving on, Cardinals defeating the Raiders 24-13. Well, ever since the Raiders fired Dennis Allen, the Raiders have actually been playing better. I can't believe it. Then again, it is Tony Sparano. He is a decent head coach. He's not a good head coach, but he's at least decent. Decent enough to at least give the Raiders a chance to win a couple games. But, at the same time, it is still the Raiders. The Cardinals should have beat the fuck out of them, and yet they didn't. Maybe. Oh, and don't tell me that they're not supposed to be that team. Bullshit. That's what Bruce Arians was hired for, right? Weren't they supposed to light teams up 34-10 or something like that? This was the perfect opportunity to do it against the lowly Raiders. But a win is a win, right? The Cardinals are 5-1, and the Raiders are 0-6. And the reason why the Cardinals are 5-1 is because it's not because their defense is great. Their defense is pretty overrated, especially that secondary, with the exception of Peterson. That's it. But the reason why they're 5-1 is because they're +7 in the turnover ratio, which I believe is 3rd best in the National Football League. Just saying. So yeah, I will give the Cardinals credit there. But that's it. That's all I'm giving. They're still They're still fraudulent 5-1, but 5-1 nonetheless. All right, talk about the Broncos. Let's move on. Steelers defeating the Houston Texans, 30-23, and it wasn't even that close. It was not. It was really 30-16, and then the Steelers put the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. The Texans got in trouble in the second quarter with a couple of dumb fuck turnovers, a rare Arian Foster fumble, which led to a Steelers touchdown, and then an interception by Brett Kiesel, which led to another touchdown touchdown pass by Antonio Brown. And hey, and I've learned a few things. Antonio Brown's a lefty. But yeah, all in all, this was a sloppy game. Oh, I like how Bill O'Brien is making excuses as to why the Texans are on this current cold streak that they're on. They were 2-0, and then they've lost 4 of the last 5 games. It's because of this and because of that. It's no, you were facing mediocre football teams, okay? The only good teams you were facing were the Cowboys and the Colts. Of course, big deal about the Colts. You're their division rival. You should be showing up against them. And then against the Cowboys, you could argue the Cowboys weren't the best team. You could argue that, the Cowboys weren't a convincingly good team yet. But it is what it is there as well. So, like I said, went 11-4 this past week. Try to do better this coming week. That's it. Later, fuckers.